What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. We're also going to be looking at the current coin market cap. As you guys can see right here, markets are back up, which is quite interesting. I want to go into a brief explanation as to why I believe that we're headed, to where we are currently right now. And then I want to explain where exactly I do think that these markets are headed to, and if we could be experiencing some more correction to the downside. You can see some very interesting moves all across the board. Maybe we just set the fourth higher low, which is happening right now. Very possible that we could be heading even higher up in regards to different positions that maybe I will be opening. Ethereum is absolutely exploding in price right now. This could be the precursor to the massive movement come the next couple of days that we were anticipating and expecting to have right now. And I will be also discussing on DueDEX whether or not I'm going to be buying long or buying short. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. So guys, before we jump into the technical analysis, I really quick just want to share with you guys that I do have a Patreon up and running. Definitely pretty awesome. I'm putting a lot more work back into it. Basically, for those of you who don't know what the Patreon is for, if you guys want to understand where my buy moves, my sell-off orders, leverage trading, things like that, my positions, as well as being able to speak to me personally, definitely make sure to check out Patreon. Basically, the way Patreon works is it's live updating. So basically, the second I make a trade or something like that, it will be posted onto Patreon for you guys to follow and see. Unlike YouTube, which is quite delayed in the market and you won't be able to get that update as frequent, with Patreon you'll be able to do that. There are 3 tiers. Definitely make sure to check them out if you guys like Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, even XRP. It will all be included on here, so I highly recommend you check this out. It is growing fairly quick and there are limited spots, so definitely make sure to get that if you're interested. It is linked in the description down below. Otherwise, to jump into the technical analysis, yesterday we made a video in regards to us retesting resistance up here on XRP as well as on Bitcoin and some of the other cryptocurrencies. I want to go into that brief explanation and then we'll go a little bit more in depth into the charts in regards to the fact that we are seeing some very interesting movements right now. As you guys can see, XRP is pretty much blasting off, but it's still capped. It is still capped with a resistance, and that's what I want to talk about right now. Yes, we do have a slight resistance at 28 cents, but you'll notice at around 30 cents is where the strongest resistance is. This has been on the graph for the longest time on my charts. You guys would have seen this, and you can see we're immediately facing trouble with this zone at 30 cents. You can see as I scroll back the clear indication as where this has been a resistance in the past, and the last time we broke bearish through here and fell a pretty significant percentage. You can see right here this was about a 35% drop, so that is still definitely a factor. And you can see us scrolling out that there are tons of support and resistances at the 30 cents barrier. So the fact that we are coming into contact with this right now, especially in an overbought market, gives me some uncertainty in the fact that that's probably the cap peak. And if you guys have a website where you can short XRP, you may want to consider that, because I don't believe we're going to be breaking through here anytime soon. That is the first bear flag or red flag in my book in regards to looking at the cryptocurrencies. We'll look at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum in a second to kind of gauge whether or not those are going to be going higher. But as of right now, 30 cents is a very strong resistance. We're also overbought. Tons of reasons why XRP is probably going to see some consolidation and head back down to around 27 cents to 28 cents and then consolidate a little bit more before breaking out. I'd be extremely shocked if we manage to close a candle above 30 cents, because then there's ultimately going to be tons of room to head up to even higher levels. That's pretty much my thought on XRP right now. For those of you that think we're breaking out to all-time highs, I don't think it's just yet. We're still capped here. Yes, this was still a beautiful move, setting some new highs for 2020, but I do think we're not going to be breaking through this level just yet in regards to short-term trading. Now to jump into Bitcoin, I want to look at Bitcoin as well as Ethereum and Litecoin kind of all at the same time. What's very peculiar and interesting, it was just yesterday where we actually just today where we set a candle above our previous resistance, and that's going to be the most interesting part. If I scroll out just ever so slightly, you can see where this has been a resistance and support in the past, kind of within this channel right here. You can see support over here here. So it'd be very interesting to see if we're able to close a candle above here and eventually trade up even higher. I'd be very shocked to see that. To scroll out to the weekly charts, you can see what it is that I'm referring to. Yes, we're now in between the high-low middle moving averages as anticipated, with a cap probably at $100 in the conservative realm of things. But, you know, there is definitely that possibility we're going to head higher up. It's just very odd to see us kind of hanging about this resistance, because I do believe we may definitely start to see that, you know, consolidation downwards. If we consider this to be the third or fourth higher low, you know, we have one here, two, you know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have tons of higher lows. We're ultimately now swinging back up into a bullish market. It'd be very interesting to see on this uptrend whether or not this will be like the fourth higher low just being set right here. It is higher than the previous one, but it'll be very interesting to see us continue up on this thing and start to head even higher up. It's just very odd to see us being overbought right now. You can see on Ethereum, extremely overbought in all freaking precursors. It'd be very interesting to see this coin shoot up even higher. It's a lot showing me that we're gonna kind of see a consolidation or a correction lower. It'd be very interesting to see that. Obviously, if you guys have any other feedback, definitely let me know down below. It's very hard to expect this to break up even higher. I mean, we are in an overbought market. We've seen it in the past where we continue to head up even higher. I was anticipating more consolidation on Bitcoin, and that's kind of where my head's at right now. I was really anticipating a movement down to $9,800. You know, the fact is we are nearing overbought. If we look at the weekly, we can see Bitcoin's weekly is fairly high up. I mean, we do have the bullish cross that happened quite a while ago. We're still kind of in a region where we're having we're above the resistance, but you can see where if we look at the charts right here, you can see we're kind of in the middle of what could, you know, potentially explode us up even higher. But you can see this uptrend right here was retested. We used this as a support. We had numerous days trending on here. Same thing happened right here, and then we inevitably started to lift off, very similar to what we had in the past here. And you can see based off of the time period, if we just gauge how long the date range is from how long we've been trending, this is about I would say 35-day, almost a month of support. So if we just go off of a month or 35 days, we move that over here. 35 days is right here. So you can see this is just the beginning part of what we're expecting to see right now. We then had following another 84 days. We had 12 bars, 84 days of sideways, 12 weeks for a 12. We had 3 months of a bull market. That was what we saw in the beginning of 2019. Now, if we bring that over to where we are now and we go off 12 bars, you can see this ends right in about March, April, May. We have not too much time, January, February, March, April, May. It is still fairly below the May halving, but you know, we could continue to see an even bigger market move right here. But if just off of comparison, we always tend to have these bullish movements. We have the bullish movements for a couple months, then we consolidate. Bullish movement, then we consolidate. Bullish movement, and then we're probably going to consolidate, not just yet. We still have some time left, about 2 more months left into the bullish movement. We do have some consolidation, and if we just go off of comparison, you can see trading at around 62 on the RSI was right around here. This was about 62 on the RSI where we are currently, was back in the past. This was right over here at this weekly chart. Now, this is very interesting because you can see we did just massively shoot up, and this took a couple weeks to be in the market. Now, long term, I do believe this is a great opportunity and a great position to be buying into, but I do think we should pay attention to the short term and start looking at as to whether or not we're going to see that breakout. You can clearly see right here the comparisons of the previous 2019 bull run, and we compare it to what we're expecting to see now. We could easily hit the highs. If we go off a percentage range to see how high we broke up and how high we're traveling right now, we have a price range of about, I would say, a cap of 242%. So if we bring 242% over to where we are currently from that point of breakout, which is right here, 242% would shoot the coin up to, let's see, much higher than where we were previously, about right around here, about 17.6. So you can see based off this 242% jump, which was from a price range of 3,900 all the way up to here, which is about the 13.9, almost 14,000 zone. If we see that same amount of percentage gain from where we broke up right now back in January of 2020, we could expect to see a movement all the way up to about $17,600. Still not at all-time highs, but extremely, extremely close based off the amount of volume that started to trickle into the market. You can start to see it looks like we're anticipating that move. You can see we did extend quite a bit away from the high-low MMA, and it seems like we're starting to do that right now. If we go off of where we're looking right now, we are overbought. You can see we are nearing that overbought on the daily. If we compare this to where we are now, you can see we did have the same kind of movement here where we were slightly overbought and then we decided to run up. But what's interesting and slightly different with the previous movement compared to now is we do have this odd, uptrend on the price, which I didn't really notice in the past, and I'm just starting to notice now. You can see we do have this uptrend forming, and it kind of peaks right at this point. So kind of near where we are currently, we're in the uptrend. We're now hitting the resistance, and you can see we do have previous resistances here. This was kind of the opposite. It seems like a bullish divergence. This was more of a downtrend compared to here, which was the uptrend. The price went higher as the RSI went lower. Now the price is moving up as the RSI is moving up, which is quite interesting and quite different. So just trying to base off of previous movements, the fact that we're nearing overbought, very similar to an overbought market that we saw right here. We did have a market of extreme price movement. We did see a bullish move even in the overbought market, which is interesting. We still had the breakout above this resistance right here. There's still, I believe, a high chance that we could be potentially breaking up to a higher level. We still have about 2 months left of this bull market. So it's just odd to see that we kind of drifted away from this uptrend right here. But my plan of action moving forward right now is going to be this exactly. We're currently right now above what appears to be the strongest resistance on the market in quite some time. You can see this right here. And if we can close today's candle above this resistance, there's a very high chance I will be buying long in the next episode. And for those of you who have been on Patreon, we'll get that update as well. But there is still a very high chance that this candle, if it closes above this yellow line, will start to move up even higher. Obviously, we'll put a liquidation leverage or a short at around 10,100 just in case. This way we don't lose that too much. But obviously, that's just a protection in case we do decide to run up even higher or we fall down. We'll definitely be in that market and we'll be ready for the next move. Obviously, at any point we come into contact, let's say we start to break bearish, at any point we come into contact with this white support, I am buying long and expecting to see that sort of movement. If we start to break out right now, obviously, if we can close today's candle, only today's above this yellow line, I'll be buying long, expecting to rally up even higher because this would pretty much be the precursor that we did bottom out. If you look on DueDEX, it doesn't look like we hit it at all. So that's what's kind of interesting, but we'll just keep an eye on here. Obviously, if you guys do want to support the channel, definitely make sure to check out DueDEX. It's linked in the description. Patreon, which is also linked in the description. Make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.